apologize for the technical difficulties. Again, we don't usually use Zoom too much, so we will, you know, try again for next time. But anyway, thank you for sort of watching the video. There is one on YouTube that can be found that gives just a deeper look into Rudy's. So if you guys need that, I can always send the link in the chat or something like that. But a little bit about me. So from a very young age, I knew I wanted to do hair professionally, and I was always, you know, messing with my own hair and my friends' hair and family members. And so it was a handful of years of interesting hair choices. So that is one thing I can attest to. And I was lucky enough that in high school, we had a Running Start program, which offered cosmetology. And I took that for the last bit of my senior year and was hooked. As soon as I graduated, I then enrolled in a cosmetology program and pushed my way through a 1,600-hour course, as per usual for Washington State. At the time, after I finished and graduated, I really wanted to work in a high-end salon. And I'm sorry, gang, I think my video is freaking out here. Hold on, I'm so sorry. Technical difficulties.
You're doing great.
I'm so sorry. This Teams, or I'm used to Teams, in my Zoom, I just had a pop-up say something, so hold on. I might just speak with the video off, so bear with me. I'll try to get it working while I'm still talking. But anyway, I worked in a high-end salon in downtown Seattle, and was able to do that and loved it for the first year and a half of my career. But I knew that I wanted a change, and I needed a place to be my more eclectic self. And that's how I found Rudy's. Rudy's has always been a place for everybody. That's kind of our slogan, with its punk roots kind of dating back to 1993 to now. Rudy's immediately felt like a place that was home for me, and I have been lucky enough to grow with them for the past 11 years. I worked most of those 11 years behind the chair, specifically doing barbering, but offering kind of a gambit of services. And I was able to build up a really large and loyal clientele, while receiving amazing continued education, just to help round out my skills as well as help me to develop new ones. I think I can get video back on. I'm so sorry. Here we are. Okay, we're back. All right. Throughout my career with Rudy's, there were definitely some challenges, mainly like fitting in and feeling like I belonged somewhere. Putting in the effort as well for my education to continue that education was really, kind of a challenge, but also like a wonderful plus. As you start in this industry, you might think that you want one thing and then realize a little bit later that you want something else, and that's okay. At the end of the day, it's all about like finding what makes you happy, because we are what matters most as the provider, as the, cosmetologist, barber, stylist, whatever you want to call yourself. And when we're happy, we're able to make our clients happy, and then success kind of follows from there. Before working with Rudy's, I had played around a lot with clipper cuts, not anything great. I used my dad and my friends as test subjects, but it wasn't until I started at Rudy's that I really realized my love for clippering and for barbering services. And I was just really able to grow my skills and learn from my coworkers, which is really huge. And that's what a lot of you will find when you get into a salon, is that you not only learn from your teachers, your educators, but you learn from your coworkers and your peers so much. And they have taught me so many things. So I also learned from the great education that Rudy's offered. And I know I keep hammering on about education, but in our industry, continued education is so important. We are always learning and growing. There's always new styles to learn, new trends, new cutting techniques. So making sure that you're putting in the effort for yourself is really important, and seeking out that education if it's not placed, at your feet, if you will. So seeking out those continued education is super important. And I was lucky to be with Rudy's, where we offer a lot of continued education. So after the 8 years behind the chair, which sounds like a really long time in my head when I think about it, I took a chance at a different opportunity with Rudy's, and started as the recruiting assistant. I had no experience, no college degree besides my cosmetology, degree, if you will. And, kind of worked my way up from there to being the recruiting manager, which is what I do now. I'm also in HR. Rudy's, oh, sorry. Did someone have a question? I didn't. I heard someone ask something. If you do, feel free to interrupt. But I currently am the recruiting manager and also in HR with Rudy's. And, it was great because they took a chance on me and allowed me to kind of push forward the glass ceiling, just kind of extend that out. And for me, having a place that I could grow with was really important when seeking out a home for myself within this industry, because as much as we want to do hair forever and ever and ever, it's great to, have something else too that you find that you love. And that was really special about Rudy's, that they saw in me, the ability to like grow and to learn. So again, hugely important. So yeah, I mean, if you guys find that, Rudy's might be someplace that's interesting to you, I would be happy to talk to anyone individually about more, on what Rudy's has to offer and kind of more behind the scenes stuff. So, please feel free to ask any questions. I would be happy to answer. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties too. I really wanted to show you all the video, but I'll send the link in the chat so you can seek it out on your own if you want.
That's on the website too, isn't it, that video?
Yeah, I believe so. And if it's not, like I said, I can submit it here so people can check it out on their own as well.
So what is it like in the Rudy shop working there? Is there everybody there is hired staff and they on a work schedule there? Or
Yep. So
some,
go ahead.
Well,
no,
some shops are like you rent out a booth and then some shops you're part of the company staff and you're part of the crew there, right?
So Rudy's in itself, we are all commission based. So none of our stylists and barbers booth rent. We pay you as the stylist. So each shop, has their own kind of vibe and their own, special spark. I've been lucky enough to work in a handful of them, but each one of our employees is an employee of Rudy's, and you all are paid either commission or hourly. But it is commission based. So all of our commission, based like services, it's just what you get paid basically by the services that you do. And if for some reason you don't hit, I'll rephrase that. If for some reason hourly, which is $17.27 per hour in Washington State, is more than what you're making commission, you will make hourly for the pay period. So you never leave the salon without making money, which is really important again for stylists, because sometimes it gets slow. We have slow seasons just like every other industry, and kind of having that backup plan is really important and really helpful.
Megan, we had a question in the chat. Can you tell us where the closest Rudy's location is, White Center community?
Yeah, so we have 18 locations in Washington, so tons. So the closest to like White Center area is going to be our West Seattle locations. We have two, one over on Fauntleroy and then the other on 42nd. We also have a location over in Columbia City, so just across the highway, and then one down in Tacoma. So those are kind of our South Seattle shops. And then we have a handful kind of Central Seattle as well. So like Capitol Hill, Belltown, that kind of central.
Thank you. Other questions for Megan?
Yeah, Megan, can you tell us maybe some challenges that you had in school and then getting your first job? What were the challenges for you?
For me, I kind of just like, when I went into beauty school, I thought I was like, I want to do color. I want to do, like, that's all I wanted to do. I was like, that's it. That's my path. This is where I want to be. And the struggle for me was really realizing that changed. And like I said, it's okay to change what you want. But that was really hard for me to accept, because my whole, from like age 12, when I was like, I'm going to do hair, I was like, I'm going to color hair. I'm going to cut, style, all that stuff. And I predominantly only thought about doing feminine, like long hair, and never really thought about, kind of more barbering services. And so when I got my first job, which, was wonderful. I loved working for that high-end salon. It taught me so much, but I never felt like I could be accepted there. In our industry, a lot of people are like heavily tattooed, but back when I started, it wasn't as common or widely accepted. So I had to cover up a lot of my tattoos, and I'm heavily tattooed. So it was really hard to wear turtlenecks every day in the salon. And so a challenge for me was fitting in, finding a place that I could still be myself and express myself how I wanted, and then also explore more. I did the color, I did the long haircuts, and I loved it. And I was just like, I need more from this. And so a challenge for me was accepting that and then seeking that out and kind of allowing myself to be not so great at something. When I first started, I was not very good at clipper cutting, and you know, now I am proficient and I love it. And yeah, that's my interest. I saw another question pop up in the chat, but I don't know exactly where to find it.
Yeah,
What's the best part of my job? So currently, the best part of my job when I was behind the chair was meeting my clients and establishing friendships with them. I still have clients who have been with me for 11 years that I still see, you know, when I'm able to go in and cut hair and shop. And so building those relationships, I love building relationships with people. And as a stylist, barber, whatever you want to consider yourself, you act as not only your friend, but a confidant, a therapist, maybe, you know, all of those things to your clients. And I found that was super rewarding, just to be that person for those people. And then now in my current position, it's talking to new talent, like talking to people who want to come work for Rudy's and sharing my story about how Rudy's has changed my life and how I've been able to kind of grow with this position in this industry, and, you know, have been offered the opportunities that I never thought I would get. So yeah, still meeting people, still talking to people, still social, but in a different way, you know, kind of seeing that excitement and spark from people who are new to the industry, who are like really rearing to go. That's wonderful and super enjoyable for me.